Hi, welcome to the latest session of HIMSS. Welcome. We're having a great show at HIMSS, and we've interviewed multiple partners this week and brought a lot of value to the sales team at Microsoft. Today I'm meeting with CEO Peter Kuhn from MEDSEEK, one of our leading partners, and in particular the leading health portal vendor in the marketplace, who's making a big bet on SharePoint going forward. So Peter, first, can you tell me a little bit about you, yourself, and MEDSEEK, and how you guys got started?
Sure, I've been with MEDSEEK for 15 years. We've been in business for around 16 years. My background is, I grew up in healthcare. I haven't left healthcare since the start of my career, and it's been a good, interesting ride for the last 15 years with MEDSEEK.
Well, and that brings me to something. You guys have developed something called the Sarah Baker story.
Yep.
Can you tell the Microsoft field a little bit about that? Because that's a unique position, and it's a very thought leader position that you guys have gathered through that story and through that development of that concept.
Well, a lot of vendors talk about putting the patient at the center of the experience, and we actually decided to go ahead and do that and build our entire demonstration site around an individual called Sarah Baker, who's a female under 30, pregnant with diabetes, and we decided to really map out the workflows of what Sarah Baker would go through when she is interacting with the healthcare system. So from a Bing search, all the way through hitting a hospital website, and then the hospital engaging her as a user, giving her access to her medical record. We even mapped out some of the workflows on the back end where Sarah Baker's physician, how Sarah Baker's physician would interact with our technology.
Now, in the way you describe Sarah Baker there, it sounds like it touches on all the elements of what we're seeing in health reform. How do you view that? What's MEDSEEK's approach, and how are you guys going to bring value to our provider community when it comes to health reform?
Well, leveraging SharePoint 2010 as the enterprise technology stack, which we're seeing a lot of our CIOs make investments in. What we're really trying to do is leverage that enterprise-wide technology and provide an enterprise experience for patients, consumers, and clinicians that are interacting with the portal. So connecting the inpatient and outpatient environment. If you're a patient, you don't care what systems the hospital is invested in the background. You just want one place to go, one point of access to access all of your data. Mm-hmm. So similar to what banking and retail and travel have done, we're trying to do the same thing in healthcare.
Okay, great. Now, it brings me to another point. You guys are specialized in healthcare. You've got over 800 implementations across hospitals across the U.S. and in Canada. What's your competition look like? When Microsoft and ourselves engage our customers, who are the competitors? If they hear a certain competitor's name, they should know and think MEDSEEK as soon as they hear that name.
Well, look, anybody that's looking to redesign their website might be talking to a local ad agency, somebody that's buying a content management system, maybe installing a WebSphere or any one of the 300 different content management systems out there. Anybody that's looking to leverage SharePoint, to build out an employee portal, a consumer offering, or even connect their patients. MEDSEEK has real value. We can speed up an implementation. We have out-of-the-box tools, appointment scheduling, prescription renewals, personal health records, physician databases. We have the ability to help hospitals attract and retain high-value patients and high-value physicians. So from a competitive standpoint, we'll compete with local advertising agencies. We'll compete with HIE vendors. Occasionally, a hospital CIO might think that we compete with their core HIS vendor for a patient experience. But, in reality, we don't, because we provide an enterprise-wide experience where typically those larger vendors are providing a siloed experience.
For the Microsoft field, this is something to really pay attention and listen, even if you have to rewind this thing a couple of times. MEDSEEK specializes in the experience, where our local ISV partners might specialize in the infrastructure and implementation and architecture. These guys really know how to make that sing for our provider community. Okay? So with that, we've talked about health reform. We talked about the Sarah Baker story. We've talked about competition. For the Microsoft field, they want to know, what does it mean to them? When MEDSEEK comes in, what are you pulling through? What technology are you leveraging? How do you help them sell the Microsoft platform?
Well, number one, I think we've proven in the marketplace that we can help you renew EA agreements.
Yes.
We can certainly help you move SharePoint and SharePoint licenses. Beyond that, we're using the full Microsoft technology stack. There's a lot of interesting things we're doing on the BI side. We're interested, of course, in what Microsoft's doing in the cloud. We've got a large installed customer base that doesn't want to invest in large hardware infrastructures. Mm-hmm. So we use the entire Microsoft stack, all the way from SQL to through all the components of SharePoint. I think the most success we've seen recently, which has been very clear, is that anybody that's looking to make a decision on an enterprise framework, with us being on SharePoint, we can provide immediate value to those CIOs where SharePoint may require that he hire a couple of developers. Mm-hmm. We can come in and do a full outsource on the eHealth front and secure that EA agreement and secure the SharePoint licensing.
Okay. Now, and for our our sales community that works with our partners a lot. You guys are changing your strategy as well a little bit. You're developing a kind of a sort of partner ecosystem. Can you tell us a little bit about that approach? And I know it's early on, but what does that mean to you, and what do you think you can do there?
Well, there's a lot of companies out there that can use, some of the apps that we're developing. And again, leveraging the Microsoft Salesforce and leveraging your partner network of ISVs. We have a comprehensive 360-degree offering that we don't want to be in competition with other Microsoft partners. I feel like there's the opportunity for us to take the stack that we're developing on top of SharePoint and put it in the hands of ISV partners, people that are building SharePoint competency. We're not in the business of necessarily setting up the hardware in the SharePoint environment. We see partnerships there. We want to provide that end user experience to the customer, to the Sarah Bakers of the world that are actually interacting with the hospital websites.
Well, hey everyone, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Peter. That was fantastic.
Thanks, Doug.
MEDSEEK, our leading health portal partner. Call them.